these areas I will weld back up where I went through a little too far from the rust. And again, I'll seam seal as much of this as I can from behind once I have it all welded back in. And I'm even thinking about getting some undercoat and doing this whole inside with, just to make it last that much longer, and that's what makes something that I did better than something somebody else has done. Maybe they didn't seam seal it all the way, or they didn't undercoat, or they didn't rust convert. You could have primed it, and the primer is not exactly as good as the rust converter, so that's just the process I go through in making these things better than factory, I guess you would say. What it is spot welds, and this is seam sealed. It's the same way it is on the other side, factory. Now what's different here is this is usually this piece, so all this would be one, and I don't know where the brake line is on their factory, but the whole top and cab and everything, I don't know, that's weird. But anyway, this seam right here is usually welded into this. Like, I'm gonna cut it, or I'm not gonna cut it, but I'm gonna just weld it to it instead of cutting it and everything. It's better like this. It'll overlap, it'll be fine. I have none of the tops welded in yet. You can see though everything's lined up. This edge here, your window edge, sticks up higher than the cab edge. It does it all the way around. I am probably going to see if I can't just seam seal this all the way, so that way nothing else gets in there, which it shouldn't, because the window is, siliconed for the most part. A lot of it has to get cleaned up. But I did find a couple of differences. So the truck is a 78, 79. What the crap? Oh, it's a shadow. Never mind. As you can see, these things, whatever they went to on the dual headlight square bodies, are not on the 79 model. They don't have them. So I will have to fill these. There also is a bump out on the 79 model, or on the 80 dual headlight model, and it is not on the 70 model. So that's why that gap there is a little bit big, but I'm gonna see if I can't, after welding this edge, hammer that in a little bit and make it close and then fill it. Other than that though, everything else is about the same. This has a finger gap, not a finger gap, but a gap here, and it actually is exactly the same on this side. I have it about as dead nuts as you can get it. Let me see. But I do just notice that my door is a little bit cocked high, and I think what that is the striker is too far up, because I can see the body line right now up a little high. But this is basically golden right now. It's coming out perfect. I mean, it's gonna be amazing when it's done. It's gonna be just what I wanted. Okay, you can see now, look at that. And the best way I can tell you to do this is line up here, clamp it in the center, line up there. If you have it all aligned, ground to where it'll fit, have a nice little 1/16 of a gap, tack weld down here first. Run your bottom tacks, tack, because that will still squeeze this way. That'll still squeeze, so you can move your channel up and down. Now for up here, this is a little tougher. Once you get it tacked to about this point, start working on this. Any clamp you got here, take off and manipulate it to where this edge is golden. When it's straight and nice and smooth, weld it, because this might be down further. Mine was. And what you'll have to do is actually have to manipulate it this way, like that, and it'll bring it up. And then once you get it close, weld it as, you know, as close as you can to being perfectly smooth. Then from that point, once you have that, the inside's the same way. It'll be about perfect at that point. These all lined up good at that point. Everything was nice. But that's what I got right now. I have it fully welded in now. Tomorrow I will spend a very long time grinding it. Yes, I know, you're looking at the welds like booger welds, but the truth is, right here, where it's all nasty, I actually had to, I forgot my gas wasn't on, so that got all nasty and I went over it again. Over here is a big gap, and I used a actual filler rod, or TIG welding filler rod, which the reason I'm not TIG welding this is because I am not good at it yet. So I use that as filler material. This hole stays here. That is actually your window drain in case water gets in behind it. I will take and seam seal this, and from behind I will stick my arm all the way in there. But all I gotta do now is grind all the welds down everywhere, of course. Seam seal. Probably gonna require some filler through there. After I sand all that filler, I'll do some primer. But as for now, tomorrow we do some grinding. And after I get this ground, I already bought the paint. It is going the same color as this dark blue. So what the whole firewall and everything here will be. Which, as you can see, is two different colors because single stage over top of what I believe is medium blue, they put dark blue. But all this is going to get scuffed and everything, and the truck will be getting cleared after I do a patina looking paint. So yes, for tonight that's done, and I will take the master cylinder off the booster, paint the booster a nice matte black after I paint the firewall, put it back in. The throttle cable's coming out. Everything else get taped up. Yeah. This will get all blacked, as I said earlier. But I'm just standing here making sure, like, I'm not gonna walk away and a weld pop shot through the window and the whole interior catches on fire. So, done. So the first thing is, it's really cold out right now. It's 40 degrees. But I have the, I'm gonna say second layer of filler in. And what I've done is, it looks like a lot over here, is I have mixed up, or I have put in to get rid of all these wrinkles that are in here. This is all done. A lot of this I had to do with my fingers because just there's no other way to do it. But the filler is about 3 years old and is really thick. If I would have remembered correctly, I do have resin, and I could have thinned it back down to where it was a little bit more runny. But I got it on there pretty thick. And now it's time to sand it all down again. A lot of hand sanding is going to happen, but these areas through here, those have to be seam sealed. Through here also. The other side, let me show you here. I actually had just took a big chunk of seam sealer out of it because it's all crusty. I'm going to wire wheel all of this, get all that crap out, hit it with some rust converter, and seal it again. But all of this is now time to sand, and I'm going to try to get all this done before work. And I have decided to pull this the rest of this windshield seal out, because they have a lot of this, like, not exactly silicone, but some kind of almost butyl like stuff in behind it, and I want to clean all that out all the way around it. I don't know what it is, or I don't know why they put that in there. to seal. It should seal easy, but I'll have to find out what it is. Might need some more of it. And yeah, let's start sanding. Alright, so the second layer of filler is done, which means that's basically done. Now I'm going to prime it and find all of my pinholes and whatnot. And I'm just using Rust-Oleum Automotive Primer. This works good, but make sure it says Automotive Primer, because the other primers are oil base. These are not. So I also still have to do, which I'm going to do now before I forget about it, is this has to be seam sealed inside and out right there. But everything else is going to get primed. And my interior is completely disgusting now, and I'm going to have to clean it hardcore. But other than that, it's looking real good.